So, guys, what's on the agenda today? I know I only do.
Welcome to Modern Retro. Roy ruined the intro by speaking before I said that.
Wow.
God.
You can cut this however you like, man.
Damn
so
right
you-
I'm going to cut it however I like. I always cut it to make myself sound great. As you can
flagrant
see...
abuses of power.
I was going to say, I am Modern Retro. This is Modern Retro. I am joined by Roy, the missing voice of the last 2 weeks, and by Aaron.
Hi.
There we go, yes. So last week we had our Doctor Who discussion with Robert. So that was fun. I had a good time. Robert is eager.
That was definitely some deep cuts, man. That guy,
I
listened to it back, and it was like he was just rattling off names, dates, episodes, and seasons.
When you know, episode name and season. Yeah,
I'm already bored. Doctor Who is just not my.
Well, if you ever do a college course and you need to cite some sources, he's the guy to go to for some Doctor Who information.
Exactly. But he's very excited and eager to come back for pretty much anything. I saw him on Saturday, and we were what the hell we were talking about? We were talking about the canon of DuckTales and Darkwing Duck.
Okay, all right, that's something I can get into that.
So yeah, Robert's good fun, and he will definitely be back at some point. And I want to hear what you guys thought, the audience, not you two. I don't care what you two thought about. I know what Roy thinks about the Doctor Who episode. So give us your feedback on that, because I'm sure we could definitely do a part 2 and go even deeper with the Who.
Okie dokie. So what is Modern Retro Podcast, Cuba? You need to say that for the new listeners.
Modern Retro is the podcast you're listening to. Aaron, what do we got going on this week?
You're the worst.
Ooh, wow, way to talk us up.
Seriously, Jesus.
Really hit him hard.
You should have heard how he pushed the mystery box last week. He was like, if you want to win a box of shit.
That was you. That was absolutely you. I finished the joke off with, we should just call this the "Here, you throw this away" box.
But don't they get a dick pic or something?
No, what?
Oh,
No, we're not putting a dick pic in it.
Letter from you.
Yeah.
So send nudes.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I thought I sent them. I thought I sent them nudes, but I mean, hey,
no. They'll send you nudes. And
can I send them nudes?
No.
Come on, let me send them nudes.
No, you can make your own mystery box. Just a box full of dick Polaroids.
I was gonna say Polaroids, like dig up an old camera and just flip it, get it so it
Modern Retro is how would you describe us, Aaron? What would sum us up in one sentence?
Late?
We're pregnant?
We are a geek podcast that tells you our reviews and opinions on cool geeky things, usually weeks too late.
We're not current news. We're just news.
There you go.
Like I say, this is like drinks with your geeky friends. That's my go back to line, because that's what people do. You sit down, you talk when you're hanging out with your friends. You talk about who would win a fight, Darkwing Duck or Batman, and then you argue about it. You have a couple of rounds, and then
Batman.
Well, Darkwing Duck has that gun that can do anything, just like Batman. See what I mean? It's like drinks with your geeky friends.
About to square up.
But this week,
fun drinks with.
Also, head to YouTube. We added the final. Well, not the final, but could be the final video in our Who Is and What Is Modern Retro with all of us. So there's that on YouTube.
I forgot
just
we
added
recorded those.
Yeah. So there's the 3 of us, and then there's the individual ones that are up there. If you go to the Modern Retro Cast at YouTube, one of those things.
Just go to YouTube and search Modern Retro Podcast.
Okay. Also, I just added, this is Wednesday right now, but I just added the Stan Lee May box unboxing.
Yeah, and you send me an email to sign up for that crap. I'm like, I'm like, yeah. It's like your friend wants you to sign up. You can save $5 on this box. I'm like, it was better than the Smuggler's Bounty, but it's not worth that.
I don't know. I thought it was. I mean, you said it yourself that it was definitely worth. You felt like you got something.
Right? Yeah, I did, but I'm not down for the subscription boxes right now. I think they all need to do a vast improvement before they win me back, because I don't know. It started off good, and then it got eh.
Yeah, Loot Crate will do that to you.
I don't generally do the boxes, but I do know that every time I get on Facebook, it keeps telling me Cuba loves mystery tackle box or whatever fishing. It will not. It's at the top of my feed right now. Every time I sign in, it says that Cuba likes it.
That's funny, really, because I mean, I've gone to the website and I've looked at it, but I've never liked their Facebook page or anything.
It tells me that you do.
Huh. That's weird.
You're getting fucking retargeted, guy.
Net neutrality, my friends. That's what that is. The bonds of society breaking down.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, Aaron, tell us what's going on.
What do we got going? Yeah, you shut up, you.
No, you ruined my intro. I'm going to ruin your everyday saying.
Let me say my line. What do we got going on today, guys?
Aaron's taking the helm on this one.
So you want me to try and fit everything in this one episode?
Well, depends on what you got.
All right, so I got a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review 3 weeks too late, or this 4 weeks too late now. I got an Alien Covenant review 2 weeks too late, and I got an Injustice review.
All of which me and Cuba have not seen.
That's why it's late, because we were supposed to see it, but then things didn't quite work out.
And if you're new to this podcast, you should know that our reviews are usually very spoiler heavy, because we talk about the shit. So I'm sure they're going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to have to answer them to the best of my knowledge, but you had your fucking chance, so spoilers galore.
Be prepared.
And I will say this, because Aaron was giving us crap earlier this afternoon about not seeing Guardians of the Galaxy or Alien. And I said, dude, I'm like, I only go out and see like maybe 4 movies a year, maybe. That's like stretching it. And Roy and I had gone fishing on was it Sunday? Because it was a halfway decent day. It was just one of those like 5-hour pauses in between all the rain that we've gotten for the last 60 days. And Aaron's like,
seriously, when did New England become fucking Seattle? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we're very British. It's the England and New England it's not supposed to be that literal. But so Aaron's like, oh, you need to see Guardians of the Galaxy. So going on 3 weeks. I'm like, at this point, I'm not gonna see it. It just
you should absolutely see it. It's one of those I'm not going to go theater movies.
It's not. It
absolutely is. 100%. It is.
Well, when you get to your review, you can preach that. But at this point, that 3 weeks past, I'm just not going to go see it in the theater. It's almost out of the theater, I'm sure. Either way, so like I said, Roy and I had gone fishing, and he goes, well, maybe you guys should go see more movies instead of spending a day out on the pond. And I'm like, dude,
do geek things. Geek things like what this podcast is.
Yeah, dude, I spend way too much time doing geek things for this podcast. 3-4 hours out on a pond in my kayak on a nice-ish day. I will take that over being in a dark movie theater room for 2-3 hours. I'm sorry, dude. It's like that's like the nerdiest thing I've ever heard someone say. Instead of being out on a nice day, you should be inside playing video games or in a dark room.
I just feel a little one-sided here, man. I just seem to be doing all the things to give some content to this goddamn podcast that's new and fresh. I seem to be
watching all the movies and spending all my money. Dude, you even go see bad movies. You go see movies that nobody wants to see.
Like what?
I don't know, everything. You don't like Roy and I save our movie going experiences for.
No, I see movies that are blockbuster movies.
No. You will go and you will go see something that like doesn't necessarily need to be seen on the big screen. You'll definitely go see something that's like that could.
If I go see it at a theater that is a movie that doesn't need to be seen on the big screen, then it's like the $2 movie theater. But most of the time, it's like the Marvels and shit like that I see.
Because I even brought it up to you in Florida, and Courtney was like, "Well, movies are kind of like the only thing we do together." I'm like, that's a sad statement.
They also go.
That's the thing we do because she is very particular about what she does. Like I try to get her to go out and do things all the time, and it's like I don't do that. So, whatever.
Well, what things are you trying to get her to do?
Go out. Like dancing, she doesn't dance. She's a heavy rocker person, so she doesn't dance. Like do the lessons and shit like that. Like that shit was fun,
yeah,
but now she won't do that.
Now everybody's a foo-foo like you.
We also have a wedding coming up. We're gonna have to dance.
Fucking foo-foo.
You trying to reference the confifi from fucking Trump today?
Foo-foo. I was confused.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I mean, I knew what he meant, but it still. Yeah, let us take her fishing with us. We'll take her kayaking and canoeing and stuff.
And I don't have a kayak. Like we'd love to go kayaking, but
you wouldn't fit in a kayak.
Use one of the
shoes. In a kayak. I need a big kayak, but I can still fit in a fucking kayak.
I've got a 16-foot kayak, canoe, and a kayak. You and Courtney, if can use the canoe, I'll use the kayak. You can use his kayak, and we'll expand the Swamp Yankee Armada with a couple of poo-poos.
And then go to the goddamn theater and watch one of these fucking movies
at night.
See, getting back on topic with the movies. Honestly, the first Guardians of the Galaxy was fun, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it enough that I needed to see a sequel.
See, that's my thinking. Also, I liked the first one, and it was cool, but I don't know. Just it wasn't where I was like, I need to see more of this. I want more. It was just like, well, it's over. That was fun. They're gonna make another and another and another, and I'll get around to them at some point.
I don't know. I absolutely see it as these are like some of the freshest, newest characters. I mean, they're old characters, but like the freshest, newest characters that we've seen on screen with like a referential Star Wars kind of vibe that like breaks the fourth wall a little bit. So it's kind of fantastic. And yes, the first movie was it wasn't absolutely fabulous. Like it had its flaws and it weak villains and all that type of shit, but it was fresh and it kind of took Marvel in a different direction and proved that they could just make fucking the most randomest characters a hit because they can tell a great story.
So I had all afternoon to think about this, and like I agree with you. Marvel does knock them out of the park. I don't think Marvel has really had a stumble, with the exception of Iron Fist, which in itself is not terrible, but definitely not something that they want to be shining a light on. But I mean, overall, all the Marvel things going on are great. But I think so. This is my train of thought because earlier before we were recording, you had mentioned that Doctor Strange was on Netflix. And you're like, you need to watch it. I'm like, I have no interest in Doctor Strange, and I know I will eventually see it because it's a Marvel movie, and that's what I think is the thing now. It's like a chore to watch a Marvel movie now because
there's so fucking many of them.
There's so many of them, and look, each one is unique. Each one is its own genre, and I get that, and I think that's why it works. Because I'm sure I'll watch Doctor Strange and enjoy it. I'm sure I'll watch the second Guardians of the Galaxy and enjoy it, but I do not feel compelled to see these anymore. It's like I'm fatigued. I've wanted to see the Infinity War forever. And we're going on 10 years now, essentially, right? Next year, 2018, so Iron Man came out in 2008. So we're on 10 years where they have been dragging us to this point of the Infinity War. And I just think it's been a little too much. It's like we got like a payoff when the Avengers assembled for the first time. And then at the end of that movie, then they hit the Infinity War, and we're like, oh shit! But now it's like it feels like it's always been that just slightly out of reach. You're about to grab it, but like, oh, next movie, and then you're about to grab it again. Oh, next movie, and it's just making me tired. It's like I don't feel compelled to be on top of it anymore. It's like I'll get to it when I feel like getting to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I don't agree with you at all. So the Marvel, like the ones that actually do feel like a drag are the Avengers movies. Like at least the second one felt like a super drag, fucking Ultron and all that shit, because it felt like, oh, we're here again, la la la. Like we're doing it in succession of, we set up some characters, now collection movie. We set up some characters, collection movie. But stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy, while it's tied into that, it doesn't feel like it's a part of that movie, right? And the second films in the series of the Marvel films feel more personal, I guess you could say. So you had Captain America. Captain America felt very, while it had like a cool Rocketeer old style vibe, it tied in with the Infinity Stone and kind of get everything going again. But the second film, The Winter Soldier, was a very personal story, and it had like wicked awesome plot twists and turns, and like amazing. It was one of my favorite Marvel movies because it was almost like a spy movie with Captain America. Like that was it. So when they introduce like the new characters and things like that, I think Marvel and Disney have gotten the message that once they did Iron Man 2 and 3, that people just didn't want to see the same fucking thing over and over again. So each movie has kind of been its own thing. So you had Ant-Man, which was a heist film, only just with Ant-Man. Guardians of the Galaxy blew me away as far as what Marvel could do, because while it's in that universe, it doesn't feel like it's in that universe. Even though it has an Infinity Stone, we know it'll eventually get to that point. The second movie, though, super in-depth into the characters. So it doesn't just go, oh, we're going to rehash the same fucking plot, and maybe there'll be an Infinity Stone, maybe not. It was done so...
Was there an Infinity Stone?
No, not in this one.
Wow, okay.
This one was so good. This Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is now my new favorite Marvel movie. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Out of all 500 Marvel movies?
Out of all 500 Marvel movies. Now, I was super pumped for Doctor Strange. I didn't really know Doctor Strange, but I was into like the metaphysical stuff and, chakras and all that. So that interests me. How are they going to handle this? This is the first time they're going to handle magic in the Marvel universe, and they did it so well. And I'm blown away that you're just like, I'll get to it. It's a chore. Like, Marvel is creating some of the greatest movies that we've ever seen on film, and doing it with such respect to character development and story. The only thing that they're lacking in is, like, compelling villains, I guess you could say. But it's like every movie that they come out with is usually pretty golden.
I'm yawning just listening to you talk about Doctor Strange.
I won't disagree with you. I mean, I'll disagree that Marvel is making the best films ever. Best movies put on film, because I definitely will disagree with that. They're making good movies, maybe even near great movies. I knew Doctor Strange before the movie, and I didn't like him and didn't give a shit. So I do not give a shit about his movie. And,
Orpheus, Dr. Orpheus from Venture Brothers is a better version of Doctor Strange. I would watch Dr. Orpheus, the movie, before I would watch Doctor Strange.
Well, again, like, I didn't know Doctor Strange, but after seeing Guardians of the Galaxy and what they could do with, like, no-name fucking characters, like, I know Doctor Strange is pretty well-known to, a good amount of people, but I didn't really know him, so them... like it's almost like every movie is proving to me that you can make a character that I have no fucking clue about entertaining and likable, or like compelling enough to watch.
Going back to your point about villains, how like they don't have great villains, that has definitely been a thing with Marvel, that most of the villains are really throwaway, not that great villains, but the villains in Marvel that are the great villains, like the handful of them, the Marvel movies like don't have the rights to them. Like Doctor Doom is Thanos is a good villain. He's definitely one of the main, most powerful, unstoppable-ish villains that they have the rights to. But they don't have the rights to the Skrulls. So right there, all their space shit is just like diminished slightly, because that is a great space villain. Doctor Doom is one of the greatest Marvel villains, hands down. And in the comics, he spans all the heroes. Everybody deals with Doom. Like, the Avengers deal with Doom, the Fantastic Four deal with Doom, Iron Man deal with Doom. Like, Doom is such a huge player, it is, like, criminal that they don't have the rights to him, because I guarantee you, they could make an awesome story arc if they had the rights to Doom, and they did him correctly, unlike Fox, to just constantly fucking up Doom. And then Magneto. Magneto is another, and the whole X-Men thing, but Magneto as a villain is another great Marvel villain that's not just limited to the X-Men, that they are missing out on by this whole stupid thing of not having the rights. The fuck was that?
I have no idea.
Is that Silent Hill? Jesus Christ.
Oh, it might be a fire truck.
But I think I don't know. I just that is just my little rant there about the Marvel villains in the cinematic universe, is that they're left with very little to pick from. I'm not even gonna say they. Joss Whedon fucked up Ultron. That whole movie had such great potential, and it was way too Joss Whedon-y. I like Joss Whedon. He does a good job with most things, but he fucked up the second Avengers movie. He fucked up Ultron. Ultron is one of those villains that shouldn't have died at the end of that movie. Could have got away. Could have done more with that villain. And I'm scared now that he is apparently directing the Justice League movie, because
I'm not, though, because that's like the first in a ensemble. Like he does good ensemble pieces, but for the first one, introduction to the characters, like the first Avengers, perfect tone, perfect, like...
Right, but Joss Whedon's style does not mesh with what the DC movies have been doing. With that tone, that gritty, dark Knight tone. Like one of the like the greatest little Joss Whedon things in the Avengers was when Iron Man was like, in the first Avengers movie, he's like, that man is playing Gattaca over there. And like he was playing the fucking video game. I don't see that like translating into any of the DC movies. I don't see that happening in the Justice League movie. I don't know.
At this point with the DCU, it's in such shambles right now. I'm welcome to any fucking possible change that they could bring to it. Even if they try it, like they have Joss direct it, he creates the scenes that are going to be eventually edited by the editor that fucking Schneider has elected to be the grayscale artist of the fucking DCU. So I'm for it.
But also, I mean, you can tell in the Justice League movie that with the DCU, they're kind of trying to change the tone a little bit. Like there were jokes in the trailer. There were, you know what I mean? Like the demeanor of certain characters was a little different. They did throw some humor in it. So I think it's going to mesh a little bit better than you would think. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I can only hope. I will say, and I'm excited for Wonder Woman. I'm going to try to see that this weekend.
And all the early reviews are saying it's really great.
Yeah, so. Which is surprising because I was
that Chris Stuckman guy. He gave it a A-, and Jeremy Johns gave it a buy it on Blu-ray.
Not bad.
Nice.
And they've both hated all the other stuff. So
I have not been compelled to see a single DC, like the new DC Universe movies in the theater. I didn't see Man of Steel. I didn't see Batman vs Superman. I didn't see Suicide Squad. I had no interest in any of those movies whatsoever. I could, if they were drowning, I would spit on them. I have no interest whatsoever in seeing them. But Wonder Woman, I want to see. I was excited to see it. Like I was excited that they were making it. I was hoping that it would be good and stay on track, and everything seems to be trending that way. All early reviews, all early screenings, word of mouth already is good. So I'm excited.
My theory on Wonder Woman is that the executives and they didn't give a shit about it. You know what I mean? They were just like, Wonder Woman. They're what the fuck? Okay, and that actually gave the team that was making the movie their own personal license to make the movie they wanted, instead of having it be, too many hands and too many cooks in the kitchen.
I don't know about that, because Wonder Woman is like part of like the holy trifecta of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So I don't think that they would be like hands off. We don't care about Wonder Woman. I don't know.
No, they just weren't. They weren't sold on its actual selling ability. Essentially, is what I heard.
Yeah, you read articles and stuff like that, and you hear things about, they didn't put as much nut behind it as they say all the other movies. Batman versus Superman or Justice League. They've already spent also twice the amount for Justice League in advertising alone than they did for Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's coming out this weekend, right?
Yeah.
The thing about Wonder Woman is it's being helmed by the director of Monster, who was like that Academy Award-winning director. Well, I think they won the award or whatever, but it was like super serious and like very intense kind of a movie with Charlize Theron. So, putting an actual director with a vision and not Zack Snyder, whose vision is, Bruce Wayne getting raped in prison. It actually.
A quick update of the current box office, because you're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy and Alien Covenant. Both came out. You saw both of them, but also like two really big movies came out in the last week, and they bombed terribly. One, I'm not surprised at all that it bombed. The other one, I am not surprised, but kind of surprised. It's Baywatch. Just fucking tanked. Like that just fucking.
Well, I heard it wasn't good. There was a lot of dicks in it too. I heard. So.
I didn't hear anything about any dicks, but either way, it didn't. The whole concept.
The poster is literally beach balls and a fucking floaty thing that Baywatch has. Like that's the poster.
I didn't see that poster. Every poster I've seen has The Rock. Hey, that's. But I mean.
Yeah, they were really trying to sell it with The Rock and Zach.
Zach.
What's his last name? Efron, thank you.
Yeah,
they're really trying to sell it hard with that little combination.
Yeah, apparently it was just like a really bad, cheesy, rated R parody of Baywatch. Like that show that Howard Stern produced.
They already did it with Son of the Beach.
That's what I was gonna say. Son of the Beach was like the best parody of Baywatch. Howard Stern produced that show, and I don't know why. Like kids.
Well, I know. Because I mean, like they did it with 21 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street is a riot. That movie is fan-friggin-tastic. If you haven't seen that movie, shame on you.
I haven't seen that movie because I didn't like the original.
Well, I didn't know the original either, but this was like Channing Tatum and what the hell's that fat guy's name from?
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And it worked so fucking well. It was such a parody of itself, but it did it the right way. And I mean, it was so funny. I walked away going, wow, that was way better than I thought it would be. Holy shit. Like, this is definitely going up there on the comedies list. But I think they're trying to recapture that magic with The Rock and Efron, but I heard
Which
the writing
sucks because, like, The Rock is funny. The Rock could definitely pull off comedy. I don't know what this movie did wrong.
Well, the thing is that Baywatch, the original show, wasn't really a comedy.
It wasn't a comedy at all.
Well, neither was 21 Jump Street. It's just like taking the 80s properties and making them funny again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a really shitty drama that tried to be dramatic, but was also cheesy. I mean,
Baywatch was so serious that it was funny. It was funny that it didn't realize like why are these fucking lifeguards trying to solve murders and like bust drug cartels and shit? It's like, and honestly, when as a teenager, when you weren't jerking off to Baywatch and you're actually paying attention to the plot, you're like, wow, like lifeguards don't do this. So I mean that right there just, I don't know about you guys, but I mean Baywatch was my light porn when my porno channels weren't working as a kid. You know,
I remember there was that, and after that, a couple years after that, it was. You remember MTV's Undressed?
Yeah. I had more readily access to porn by the time Undressed came around, so I didn't jerk it to that.
I was gonna say I didn't, but I had a lot of girls making out, so I was like.
I just touched myself slightly. The other movie Pirates, that tanked, Pirates of the Caribbean, which I'm not surprised, but then I'm somewhat surprised because they like are trying to not quite reboot it, but they're sort of trying to start with a clean slate. You know what I mean? They're kind of like they're trying to. It looks like they're trying to go back to the formula of the first Pirates, which is hands down the best Pirates of the series, and it just didn't do well. I don't have the exact numbers up from the weekend, but it just.
Well, it comes down to no one asked for it, no one wanted it. Okay,
pretty much.
Your last movie was fucking terrible, and all like Pirates of the Caribbean 1 was the best one, yes, and then 2 and 3 kind of meandered at the end. You're like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, I didn't even see the fourth one, but I heard that was garbage.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Hot garbage.
All right, so it's actually number 1 right now, but that's.
Well, yeah, it's not any much competition.
Right, exactly. It grossed only like 62 million, which only 62 million, which that's
that whole movie
that's
is
bad
fucking CGI, so they spent millions upon millions.
Yeah,
on
they
that
probably
fucking
spent
movie.
like 100 million on all that CGI and marketing.
Well, that's the problem is that I heard that in the first movie, when you watch the first movie, you could tell. I mean, they actually built ships.
Right.
The Dauntless.
That was awesome.
They actually built, and then once they filmed all the scenes they needed for this particular ship, they redressed it and changed some things, and they used that as another ship. You know what I mean? Because I think they only had 2, but there was like 3 or 4 ships in that movie.
Right.
So they used the same ones, but they made it look different, and you could actually tell they were on the fucking ocean. And then I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, I saw the previews, and I'll admit I kind of got excited because the previews made it look. Besides, I can't even remember his name, but
Captain Salazar.
Yeah, but I can't remember his actual name. It's Javier. Is it? What's his real name? But when he says but he goes, "Please, will you?" Like it was like, all right, but the rest of it looks kind of cool. Like. I don't know. There was a lot of it. I was excited, and now I heard all this. I'm like, I'm probably not even going to go see it. It's so disappointing.
I don't know. The trailer couldn't even shabbily put together a plot that would make me interested. So why am I going to go see it?
And they highlighted the young CG Jack Sparrow. Yeah, like
who looked uncannily strange. He looked.
Well, I mean, almost
really
every actor
weird.
when they're de-aged looks kind of strange. But I mean, so many movies and shows now do that. They did that with
Guardians of the Galaxy does that.
Do they? They did that with Iron Man. They did that.
But it looks so fucking good. It looks so good.
It does look. It looks cool. They did that in Westworld with Anthony Hopkins. If you remember that scene, you're like, "Whoa, shit! They did a really good job of de-aging Anthony Hopkins there." But I mean, like they highlighted that in that Pirates of the Caribbean trailer, and it's like, it's like that's been done. It's not like an amazing thing anymore. If they just left that, I mean, movie trailers showing too much is a whole other fucking podcast topic, but just nothing in that trailer made me go, fuck yeah, another Pirates of the Caribbean. They're gonna set it right this time. What I saw, what Roy said from that very first trailer, where he's like, tell him, please, pretty please, and I'm like, no, fucking, it lost me at that first teaser trailer.
Almost had me.
If they just cut it and tell him like, I'm coming for him. Because that was the thing with the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It was serious-ish. It had its funny comedic moments and stuff like that, but it played as a pretty straight, serious, swashbuckling movie.
Yeah. It knew when to take itself seriously, and it knew when it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of that did rest on Johnny Depp. And his character of Jack Sparrow.
Did you see the video of him dressed up as Captain Jack in the actual Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney like a month ago? It's awesome.
I heard about it.
People are like going through the ride, and he's like sitting there in character, like calling people out. It's like, hey there, love, you have a cell phone thing. Just like, I'm like, that's a good time right there.
That's cool, but I mean, I want to know if they the only reason I want to see the movie is to see if they did Jack Sparrow right. You know what I mean? Because he's the central.
He doesn't do anything else besides Jack Sparrow. Even the fucking other movies that he's like everything else that he's been in since Pirates of the Caribbean. It's been him as Jack Sparrow. As the Mad Hatter, he was Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, tell us about Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, is the Guardians of the Galaxy fucking review? We're reviewing a goddamn movie none of us have seen.
Shut up.
Jesus fucking Christ. 46 minutes on a movie that we haven't fucking seen. So, Guardians of the Galaxy, should have fucking started with, it's by James Gunn, and you fucking totally fucked up my segue with an actual director that knows what the hell they're doing and how they can tell an adult movie from the Wonder Woman discussion half an hour ago. James Gunn wrote and directed this movie too, which he did the first one. And he was the only writer, really. So it shows that there's a lot of fucking love in this movie because he handles. I mean, you saw how many characters Guardians of the Galaxy had. He juggles all of them so that they all get their story arc. They all shine, and then it all comes to a climax at the end that feels gratifying. Quick plot: Peter Quill and his fellow Guardians are hired by a powerful alien race, the Sovereign. That's the gold people you see in the trailer. To protect their precious batteries, and if you steal the batteries, you get like a death sentence. That's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then they jump into this whole plot of Peter Quill's father coming down and like saving them from the Sovereign because Rocket stole the batteries. So they're chasing them down, and Snake Plissken comes in, blows them all up, and I mean. Hold on a sec. I'm trying to read the plot synopsis here again. The Sovereign dispatched their armada to search for vengeance as the Guardians try to escape. The mystery Peter's parents is revealed. Anyway, so it mostly deals. The entire movie goes against the whole Marvel grain, and it mainly deals with the villain of the movie, which is the
Jeff Goldblum.
Ego. Not Jeff Goldblum, that's Thor. Okay.
Oh yeah, my bad.
That movie I'm actually excited.
What's his name there? The actor. Kurt Russell. He plays Ego, which is that planet that you see in your comic cards that has the face on it. Mm-hmm. He's the villain of the movie. He's created a human-like body so he can experience the universe in a physical form that's not a planet. And he goes in search of intelligence in the universe. And he finds Peter Quill, and he's mating he mated with the mom to create Peter, and it turns out Peter is the only baby he's had that could wield the power of ego and creation.
So that's why he can hold the Power Stone in the first movie and not get vaporized?
Exactly.
So his mom got fucked by a whole planet.
Yep.
When you put it that way, really makes her sound like a hussy.
And it's really funny because Drax, he's like, "So you grew a penis?" He's like, "Drax, you can't ask that." He's like, "What? She can't very well have sex with a planet." Right? So the movie. It's the funniest fucking movie. It's the serious fucking movie. It elaborates on the villain to a point where you see where the villain's coming from. It is fantastic. It is 100 times better than the first movie. I can't even believe that they did it because, who knew you could make a movie better than that? But you can tell it was a visionary director who loved the characters and who could tell he's so in love with the characters he told a compelling story. He even slides in a lot of language because he's mostly known for more adult movies like Powered or whatever, the one with Dwight from The Office. I don't know if you saw that one. No. He did Slither, so he's done rated R kind of movies. But he kind of brings that and he slides in there where you're like, I see what you did there. Like they keep calling the Rocket Raccoon a fox, and Nebula, the shaved head blue chick, who's the daughter of Thanos, comes in, he's like, "Oh, you stupid fox," and you're like, "Hey, you just called them a bunch of fucks," basically. So he does that type of shit, but they drop so many great 80s references in this movie. The fucking soundtrack is phenomenal. You think Baby Groot's gonna get old or stupid, but he was amazing in it. It was done so friggin' well. Marvel knocked it out of the fucking park. And Winter Soldier was my all-time favorite Marvel movie because it dealt with like, the crazy like Nazis taking over America. It was a super awesome plot. This one is now my new favorite Marvel movie. It is fan-fucking-tastic.
So explain the Mary Poppins reference that I'm seeing everywhere.
So, what's his name? The blue guy.
Merle.
Merle.
Merle. Right. He has that whistling arrow that can go through anything.
Yeah.
So they jump out of their ship that had just exploded, and he's holding on to his arrow like this, right? Mm-hmm. And they're floating down, and Peter Quill goes, "You look like Mary Poppins," like as a joke, and he goes, "Is he cool?" Like, yeah, he's cool. And then, like, as they're floating down to the rest of the team, he goes, "I'm Mary Poppins, yo!"
Okay, that's pretty funny. I didn't know the context of it, but I've seen T-shirts, I've seen memes, and I'm like, man, some fucking Mary Poppins shit has been going on.
Yeah, did you actually see the picture of him with that T-shirt on next to somebody cosplaying as Mary Poppins?
No,
did
that's
you see
awesome.
That? So good.
I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And yes, now we know.
I think there's a petition to make a Mary Poppins Marv or whatever his name is. So that's pretty awesome. But also, it was super funny, but it also super hit you in the fucking feels. So they were talking about in the movie, Peter Quill is talking to god damn it, I can't remember her fucking name. I'm having such a brain fire on names today. The green chick,
Gamora.
So Gamora says, what about that story you told me where you had a picture in your wallet of Donald Smackenoff or whatever, and he's like, David Hasselhoff? like he would tell people that, he's like, Donald Smackenoff in this talking boat. He's like, you mean David Hasselhoff and the talking car? And he was telling kids at school that David Hasselhoff was his father, but he was away, shooting the show or whatever. So, you kind of, you bond with Peter Quill and his father complex, essentially. And when you meet Peter Quill's father and he's showing him how to use the energy of the planet and his superpowers, essentially, he like lights up his hand. He's like, put your hands like this and make something. It's pure creation. So he makes a ball and he starts throwing the ball with his father, and you're like, oh Jesus, this is some crazy shit. And basically it comes down to the father figure. There's a devious plot in the movie where the father figure basically fell in love with a bunch of different races and made a bunch of different babies so he could do this because he's the only celestial left, so he needed to make another one. And he planted plants of himself on each planet, and once he can get another celestial, he can take over all the planets and make them his own.
Okay.
So there's a point where they find like just a whole cave.
So let me hold on. So he was dropping loads and broads across the galaxy.
Yep.
To take over the galaxy, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he was trying to make more of Celestials.
Yeah, Celestials.
He's trying to repopulate the galaxy by dropping loads and broads on different planets. It's pretty dope. I actually like this movie now.
Well, okay. the thing turns out, you kind of find out why Peter Quill was with Marv. Is it Marv?
Merle
Merle from The Walking Dead.
Merle. Merle. You find out he was with Merle because Merle was the one that was shepherding the children back to the planet so he could, try and teach them to be a Celestial. Only none of them had the spark in them that could manipulate creation.
And what, he just liked him and decided to keep him?
So he just said, I made it painless when I killed them because they didn't serve a purpose to him anymore.
I mean Star-Lord. He grew attached to him or something and decided to keep him.
Who?
Fucking Merle, you motherfucker.
Oh yeah. So once Merle found out what he was doing with the kids, he kept them.
Okay.
And there's the whole arc of like, he may be your father, but I'm your daddy. That kind of
dynamic. I've seen that. Yeah, that meme going around.
Yeah, so if you've seen those T-shirts around, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
But there's a super crazy, like, there's a twist. So everything's kind of going good, and everyone has their arcs and storylines and stuff that are compelling. But once you figure out that the father's evil, he's like, I thought you said, you loved my mom. He's like, I did love your mom, Peter, and if I went back to visit Earth again, I definitely would have stayed. It was real tough giving her cancer. And he just goes, like, not even says a thing. He just starts unloading his fucking gun on him and, like, blowing pieces away. And, you see, like, a half of fucking Ego's head, and, like, the rest of it is just, like, nerve endings made out of energy. It looks so fucking cool, but, like, holy fuck, that was fantastic. Then there's this whole battle, like a god battle between the two of them, because he's finally, learning how to use his powers and shit. Like, he makes a giant Pac-Man at one point. It's like,
he's a fucking Green Lantern.
Basically, he had the power of creation. It was fantastic.
All right, so how many fucks would you give this movie?
I'd give this movie fucking off the notch fucking bucket of fucks. This movie was fantastic.
It's 1 to 10. 1 to 10 buckets.
11.
No, it's 1 to 10 buckets.
10
right,
buckets.
Give it a 10. Are you just saying that? You just saying that because you're
not.
all super fanboy excited?
Because no, absolutely not. So I watched, like, the reviews and stuff before and after this movie. Once to see how the movie is if I want to spend my money on it, but then after the fact, because they mentioned shit that I didn't pick up on before. And so many reviewers were like, it's not that great, or it was okay. It had its problems. I don't get it, man. This fucking movie was off the charts.
If you had to critique the movie, what would you say?
This movie took its fucking time. It
That's not a critique.
I'm giving out what this fucking movie did, man. If I had to nitpick what it didn't do?
What did you not like about it?
Right, sorry. I should have been a little more clear.
So it introduces some characters that were kind of needless, I guess. Maybe, like, it's a nitpick. The only thing I can do about this movie is maybe nitpick, and I can't even think of anything off the top of my head. This movie fucking took its time, fleshed out its characters. It had so many characters to fucking kind of juggle, and it did it in such a concise way that just made the movie move forward. It was like almost 3 hours, and it didn't feel like it at all. It was insane. But that's a credit to James Gunn being, like, one of the only writers on this thing. It shows that he knows what he's fucking doing. Give that guy goddamn Avengers, because it was fantastic.
See, now I kind of want to see it in order to see if it's... Because you have a tendency to hype things up a lot more than they than they deserve. So I kind of want to see it to see if it deserves this hype and praise from you.
So I watched it regular the first time, and then my mom came down to visit, and I brought her to the 4D. And I got to say, this movie was the fucking best movie I've ever seen in 4D. I've seen, like, 3. I saw, Doctor Strange, which was good. Star Wars did not work for. But this movie was a goddamn Disney ride. It was so fucking cool. So there's the point where Drax is hanging out of the ship because they lost their cannons or whatever. Their cannons got blown up. So he jumps out with a buoy. He's flying through space with his goddamn laser gun, shooting, ships behind him. And they're crashing into the planet, and he's bouncing off the trees because they're landing in a forest, and your chair's going... Oh,
that would irritate the fuck out of me.
No, it was so cool. It was so fucking cool. Like, if you go to Disney for those motion rides, it was such a good thing. There's also a part where, Rocket's hiding behind a tree, and they're shooting the sides of the tree, and it's puffing air at you, so it feels like it. But after that scene with Drax, he goes, "That was awesome." My mom goes, "Yeah, it was." It was so fucking good. So highly recommend go see this fucking movie, even if you haven't done it already at this point. Like, these two fucks, go see this goddamn movie. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
So you went to go see another movie that was not as good.
Complete fucking opposite. So. The next movie, Alien Covenant. Good fucking God. It is George Lucas all over again. let's start off with Prometheus. Okay, Prometheus set up a plot line with the engineers. Okay, the creation of man, and that movie ended. It asked a lot of questions. It was stupid to a T, though. Like the scientists weren't really being too sciency, and they took all the cool concepts and didn't really do anything with them. But it ended on a note where you're like, ooh, this could actually go somewhere I would be interested in following, which would make this movie more relevant. So, okay. I mean, there was a lot of hate with the no xenomorphs and aliens, like, in it, but...
And Prometheus, you mean, right?
Yeah, and Prometheus. But, so they, in response, a couple years later, they made this movie. This movie is a direct sequel to Prometheus, but they listened to all the negative praise, like the bitchy geeks that were complaining about stuff, but they didn't listen to any of the actual good stuff that they had to say about Prometheus, or like stuff that should happen. They just listened to, you don't have aliens in it, I don't like it, right?
But then this became all about aliens.
Well, this movie, it's technically not even a xenomorph. It was like called like a necromorph or something.
The neomorph.
Yeah, it's not quite the alien that we're familiar with. So yeah, like so give us a quick rundown of the plot of this.
Bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, there's a colony ship called the Covenant. Discover that what they think could be an uncharted paradise. So they get hit with like a blast of space radiation or whatever. It fucks up their ship. They come out of the pods, and then they find a transmission while they're trying to fix the ship of an Earth song being played over their walkie, whatever. So they're like, okay, well, it's coming from this planet over here in this galaxy that's, 7 hours away.
7 hours away?
7 hours away, or we jump back in our pods and head back to the destination that's 7 years in cryo or something like that, right? So everyone they vote to go check out where this transmission's coming from because sensors say that it's habitable for life. Turns out that they land and they get there. So.
I can see the rage, like it's bubbling out. It's like your nostrils are flaring. It's like steam's coming out of your ears. There's a little bit of white shit on the side of your mouth.
He's trying to figure out exactly where to start shitting on this.
Exactly. So, I mean, you if you don't know, Cuba and I, we're huge fucking Aliens and Predator fans. Like the lore is strong with us. Okay.
Amen.
And this movie had a lot to live up to, not just because Prometheus was kind of meh, but you're handling the Alien franchise, you need to do it with finesse, all right? Especially since we've had the rumors of Neil Blomkamp possibly being at a helm of one,
and everyone was anymore.
Supposedly, but after this fucking movie, they better do it. So
no, it's officially not happening.
There was that rumor with no, it's not.
Ridley Scott said it's not happening. Straight up, it's dead.
Don't crush the poor boy's dreams, Cuba.
And every time they say, I don't give a shit. Once Ridley Scott's almost dead. Once he's dead, they'll fucking do it. Anyway, so Ridley Scott helmed the first Alien movie, and since then, James Cameron came in, made it better. Then there was 3, which was done by the director of Fight Club. And there was a whole bunch of controversy with the studio being too involved and kind of fucked up his vision. Then Resurrection, which was written by Joss Whedon, so it had and directed by some French guy, so it has a really odd feel. I don't know why everyone hates it so much, but it's definitely odd. Like it goes in a direction we've never seen and kind of puts you in uneasy kind of mood.
Well, I think it's summed up by the fact that Weyland-Yutani no longer exists and like Walmart is in charge. Like that's in universe canon. It's like Walmart bought out Weyland-Yutani. It's like, what? Really? Yeah, that's like the in-canon explanation for why it's no longer the Weyland-Yutani company.
So Resurrection's like a really good fan fiction that was put to film with like the extra characters. I mean, it doesn't deserve as much hate, but it's definitely not quite Alien. Anyway, Ridley Scott, though, that motherfucker is a visionary director. He can create some goddamn visuals that you get the goosebumps over. he can set a tone in a sci-fi movie that no one else can. I think he did The Martian. That was fantastic. Prometheus was visually gorgeous.
You can know a Ridley Scott film by just looking at the trailer, by like one screenshot, like a landscape. You can say, yeah, that's a Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah, I mean, even his historical movies with fucking Gladiator and Kingdom of Heaven, like just like those movies are fucking beautiful.
Yeah, you just need one screenshot of like the sweeping landscape, and you know when it's him. That's all.
And like, I give him all the praise in the world. This movie's visuals are fantastic, but he needs to fucking hire some goddamn better fucking writers. God damn it. Okay, so while they took the advice of like, oh, there's no xenomorphs, let's throw some xenomorphs in it, that like one of that commentary from the Prometheus, they didn't take any of the other negative criticism, like, why are they taking off their fucking helmets? Why are they being so unscientific? Why are they doing stupid shit? This movie could have been replaced with teenagers from the fucking Friday the 13th franchise. No one would give a fucking shit. They immediately find that planet, this planet that, okay, isn't on their radar to begin with, so they stop the mission to go to where they're supposed to go check out this signal, and they find out that the planet has an electrical storm over the fucking thing, like it's the goddamn Matrix planet. Like, didn't they ever see the fucking Matrix? Robots are on this goddamn planet or something, right? Like, oh, it's covered in electric storm? That's shitty to go through? Let's not wait a little bit to see if that goes away. You know, maybe weather will make it go away. No, let's fucking drive right through it. Why the fuck not? Because, woo! YOLO,
Can I guess if they can't YOLO. Can I guess that the landing team can't communicate with the mothership through that electric storm? Is that a trope that they do?
Yeah, fuck you. Okay. Exactly. So they get to the planet. Guess what? Okay. Oh, we can breathe. Let's just fucking go out in commando gear. No fucking helmets, no suits, no nothing. Like, they just took the Prometheus stupidity and amped it up to 11, so everyone's fucking retarded. You know, and they try and throw in the plot line of like the ship, the Covenant.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you can make Prometheus dumber with like a certified scientist calling some weird worm monster on an unknown planet like it's a cat.
It's that level of stupid. It's that fucking level of stupid, but worse because they don't have spacesuits. So I'm not even fucking joking. This is what pisses me off. So they get to the planet, they go and walk around. Okay, oh look, there's human vegetation here. We can breathe the air. There's fucking wheat. There's goddamn wheat here. Like, what are the
beer.
What are the odds of that happening? I'm gonna go take a leak alone. Bye. You know, fucking what? You're on a distant planet with nothing. You know nothing about this fucking thing. Vegetation, like carnivorous plants or animals. You're just like, I gotta pee.
Yeah, it
Bye.
could be a Venus flywheat. Bite your dick off.
Oh my god. So the thing is, they try and give you some kind. Here's exactly what they didn't do in this movie that they did in Guardians of the Galaxy. They make you invest in the fucking characters. They give a plot kind of catalyst, like, oh, the Covenant is full of couples, and they're there to repopulate the human race on another planet. So you're like, so when someone dies, you're like, oh no, they were married to that person, sad. You know, that kind of shit. It's tropey bullshit. But the problem is, you never know who was fucking married to who. Unless you watch this movie like 4 times, you know who's married to who. Otherwise, you didn't know. You're like, oh, I thought he was married to that guy since they were hanging out. What the fuck's going on there? I think you better check with your wife. But, like, what? I don't even know how they even fucked that up. It's the most simplest premise you could possibly do. But they do. They fuck it up. So they start trekking through the planet, and they realize there's no sounds. Like, there's no animal sounds. There's no birds chirping. There's nothing. Okay, that's odd. I gotta pee, bye. Fucking goddamn. So he steps on a bulbous, like, even you would know if you're stepping on a fucking beehive. This thing is the size of a beehive. Steps on it. You saw it in the trailer.
Yeah.
And these spores come up and float around and then go in his ear. All right.
And he's oblivious to it.
He's oblivious to it. He just kind of goes, and that's it. Another guy. Oh, what are these fucking egg-looking flowers. Let me just stick my face in it to look at it. Oh, and it goes in his nose. And at that point, they start getting sick, like that.
Well, in all fairness, you said these aren't scientists like at Prometheus. They're just couples.
No, but if you're going into space, you'd think you'd have some kind of fucking science degree or something. You know, who are they repopulating the human race with?
Yeah,
fucking
you're not going to send a bunch
Walmart? Walmart took over, like you said.
They just got a bunch of stickers and they're just putting it on fucking xenomorphs.
Oh, come again.
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, who the fuck are they sending that's just going to... These people are so stupid that they're just going to mush their face into any Venus flytrap they see.
Well, because
you know what I mean?
In the first Alien, the charm of it is that this crew is they're space truckers essentially. They're hauling a cargo.
Yeah, but see, they're
your regular everyday like space hick.
Yeah, true, but they were doing a job that they were trained for.
True. Yeah, it wasn't an exploratory mission where you would send, people who were trained for exploratory missions.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, unless these people are only experts at fucking, because that's what they were meant to do on the planet. I mean, maybe they just sent the best people to the best at sex and they just sent them off.
So, also, the major meat of this story kind of falls on deaf ears because a lot of the scenes that maybe told you about the crew, YouTube video, okay? I'll lead up to what happened to the people in Prometheus in this movie. YouTube video. It's not in the fucking movie. Why? I have no idea. Because it has the most substance to the plot that would make you invest a little bit more. James Franco, he's in the YouTube video. He's not even in 2 seconds of the actual movie.
Right. Isn't the fate of the girl and the android from Prometheus explained in a YouTube video?
Yeah.
That's kind of...
It's like they're trying that.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying that stupid marketing ploy where it's like, oh, you have to watch everything to kind of know what everything is, but they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, that works with certain things, but like her fate and the android's fate, like that should have been like a major plot point of this movie.
It should have been, and it wasn't. It was completely cut out of this movie.
That's fucking weird.
And the whole plot of this movie is dealing with the after effects of what you didn't see on screen. From Prometheus. So they crash land. They crash land that ship from Prometheus onto this planet, which is the engineers' planet, or a engineers' planet. Let's hope it's not the only one, because the engineers had a pretty cool fucking plot line that they could have developed. This one, they fucking did away with it. So the major plot of Prometheus was that black goo. Yeah, turns out that black goo is creation itself. It fucks with DNA and it can create monsters, but also kill you to create whatever thing that it wants. Yeah, it's a bioweapon.
They modified it to destroy humanity, essentially. But they never explained why the engineers wanted to kill their own creation.
Exactly. And also in Prometheus, they had like this alien that was in like the Jesus pose. So you're like, ooh, like what's going on with that? Do they worship the alien? What's going on with that? Right. Turns out the David character, the robot character. Spoilers again. The movie starts off with like a David scene with him kind of, figuring out his immortality and that he could essentially be a god.
Is he still ahead?
He's talking. No, this is when he was like just born. He's talking to Waylon, I think it's Waylon, and basically asks him the question: if I don't die but you die, how come you're in charge? And Waylon goes, pour me some tea. And he gets up, pours him some tea. Right? So there's like a cool little, tension there to begin with, and they fuck it up. So then they go and they show you Michael Fassbender again, but he's not David. He's another robot called Walter, and who I guess is a newer model and less independent than the David one from Prometheus.
But looks exactly the same.
If I was going to have a robot, I would definitely name it Walter. That's just the perfect name for an android.
I always think of the Muppet from the new Muppet movies.
Well, it turns out that David, when he was on the Prometheus ship, got to the engineer planet and just dropped the bioweapon on all the fucking engineers, and it created this massive amounts of just fucking monsters, hideous goddamn alien-like monsters. and they somehow look to him as their owner or something like that. I don't know if it's because they sense that he's a robot or something like that, but
wait. The end of Prometheus, they said we're gonna find them and we're gonna ask them why they created us. So they found them, and then he just bombed them for no fucking reason?
Yep, this is what they did with that script. Okay?
All the one answer that we wanted, that the whole fucking movie was about, of why we were created. Like,
watch the
man
YouTube
and
video.
God,
that's all you get.
and they fucking don't even address it.
You don't even need to see the movie to see that part of the movie. It's on the YouTube video. Go to YouTube, check it out.
Jesus fucking fuck.
So we pick up where those two people who got the little fucking black wispies in their ears and nose, they start getting sick, and start throwing up, and they need to get rushed back to the ship.
Wait, how long after Prometheus is this at this point?
10 years.
10 years and all the monsters are dead and the planet's abandoned now?
Yes.
Where did they go?
What happened to the broad? What was her name? Elizabeth?
I'll get to that. So
that's certainly not ominous, is it? Oh boy.
So they rush, and the first half of this movie is such a fucking boring slog. It's so tough to watch. It's just like, okay, do something fucking interesting, because this is boring. They rush the sick people back or the first sick person back to the ship because he's closer, and like, oh, he's sick. Should we start quarantine protocols? I don't know, maybe. And then they start putting him in the health bay or whatever, and the girl takes off his shirt and his back just goes and blood shoots out. So she goes, ugh, and she locks the door and leaves, right? But leaves another girl in there with her. I think the wife. Who the fuck knows? And this is where Ridley Scott shines, is the horror part of it, because that guy all of a sudden starts, convulsing, and you see it in the trailer where he's like, oh, his eyes roll into his fucking head. He turns completely white, and you see his whole back just go, and this white dump come out. and then his body just slumps backwards. It was so fucking gross and cool. And it's almost like what are those rhesus monkeys aliens? It's a rhesus monkeys alien, and it has talons, so it's like
it's fucking baboon.
No, it's not. You made it sound like Nibbler.
and it starts attacking the girl that was in there. So the other girl that had left gets a shotgun, opens up the door, move, because it's attacking her, goes to shoot it, slips on some blood. Fucking
wait. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. If it's a med bay that you can quarantine, there's got to be some sort of quarantine procedure that you can initiate from the outside that would incinerate the lab or something.
No idea. Nope. Hands are up. No fucking clue. She just locks the door from the outside, but then she opens it back up when she finds out that, oh, there's an alien in there. Let me open the door so I can go shoot it. Slip on some blood, shoot the fucking roof, scares the alien runs away. It's fucking stupid. So anyway, she crawls out of the med bay. The door closes on her leg as she's crawling away, and you're like, you fucking idiot, right? And then the alien just gets up to the window, bashes its head against the window, crawls out, and she starts shooting in every direction. We know you're not supposed to do this in fucking video games. You're shooting in every direction with the alien monkey thing, and then goes, die, you motherfucker. Oh, look, there's a whole bunch of gas tanks right there. Boom! Fucking giant explosion with the spaceship. Fucking bullshit. Okay? The whole team are now getting to the ship as they see it explode, because they're hearing all this commotion on the radio. And their sick guy all of a sudden starts convulsing, and a thing pops out of him too, and now they're in the middle of a field with one. And they're shooting the shit out of this thing, right?
Wait a minute. Why do all these guys have guns?
Because
they're an exploratory team.
Yeah, but again, going back,
space weapons.
What?
Not like cool space weapons either. The fucking stupid I don't know, shitty gunpowder weapons.
Well, I mean that's always been part of Alien canon.
I was just they're not like pulse. What do they call them? Pulse. They didn't call them.
Yeah, they were called pulse rifles, but they didn't shoot pulses.
They shot bullets.
They shot bullets.
Like different. Give them a different sound effect. I don't something.
But I mean, just the going back to Alien, part of the whole tension of that movie is that they didn't have any guns. Again, space truckers. I mean, we all know truckers. They probably do. I mean, they do carry guns. Chime in, Bobby. You're a trucker. How many guns you carry in your cab?
This one had like, a gun locker, so everyone kind of got a gun.
I don't know, man.
So they're shooting this fucking rhesus monkey, right? And it's it's pretty terrifying because it's in the middle of the field, jumping around, and like it'll run away, and then you'll hear it like in the darkness going, and it'll come back and like attack one, and at one point it shoots its tail while they're shooting it, and it knocks this guy's jaw completely off, and you're like, fuck. But this is where David comes in. He shoots a flare in the air, and they all disperse. Right?
Where did he
a couple
get a
of them
body?
had come.
How many were there?
There was like 3. It was almost like a raptor scene from fucking Jurassic Park. It was really fucking cool.
Wait, so
3 of them came out of one dude?
One came out of the dude, but then some came out of the trees.
Oh.
I was gonna say it.
I think.
Wait, so where did David get a body?
David, it turns out, if you watch the YouTube video, that the chick put him back together over the course of however long the distance was to get to the engineer planet.
Okay.
But he also has like long hair. He looks like he's from Orange County, California. He's like, whoa, dude.
Why does an android have growing hair?
I don't know. But he basically goes, come with me if you want to live. And they go to this giant cathedral building, and there's World War II charred bodies all over this fucking thing. Okay? None of them asked the question, what are all these fucking bodies doing over here? What happened? Let's just follow the guy into the weird, creepy cave house. Okay, sure.
Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. It's like a bunch of kids following fucking Herbert the pervert.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there are charred engineer bodies.
Yes, because from the him dropping the shit from Atmo and just having it explode, and it interacts with any biological entity and creates alien monsters.
So why were they charred?
Because it was black goo and it doesn't explain anything.
Because of story stuff.
Because that black goo is all of a sudden plants that shoot out spores. Who the fuck knows? This doesn't make any goddamn sense. You're still wondering, like, okay, maybe it'll get into the lore of like what these alien creatures are. Is it like a religion? Is it something? No, turns out that David, he hasn't been into the fucking Apple Care for 10 years. He's gone a little bit crazy, thinks he's a god, and he just wants to, create things at the expense of humanity. Humanity's dead. I'm going to create things with this black goo. But really, I'm not creating something. I just kind of found it, and I'm mixing some shit together to make the perfect organism. So you find out that David the robot created the xenomorph as we know it today.
Okay, so, all right.
That is
There's a lot to unpack, okay?
That is dumb. I'm not even the biggest fan of this. I'm not nearly as close to the series as you to this franchise as you guys. I'm disappointed with that shit.
So why
drop that bomb?
Here are some questions you can't answer. Why are there no things that popped out of the engineer from the last movie running around? Shouldn't that in theory be what comes out of an engineer from this stuff and not little white monkeys?
So there's no actual explanation as to what the black goo specifically does. Some people it makes, alien people. Other times it makes them disintegrate into a river. I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So maybe it just turns them into charred bodies in this cathedral. You don't really know. It just created a bunch of fucking nonsense.
Does it end with like an actual xenomorph alien that we're familiar with? Because I know the one that in the one in the trailer, it wasn't a xenomorph per se, right? Or is that actually a xenomorph? It looked different.
That's a xenomorph. The reason why it looked different is because it was CG. So it turns out David has been experimenting for the 10 years he's been on this planet. His cave has all these drawings of alien eggs and fucking face huggers. You find the remains of the chick from Prometheus with her fucking chest completely wide open, autopsy-ish, but not like burst outy autopsy. So who knows what the fuck happened to her actually?
Doesn't that that completely cheapens her character arc from Prometheus?
Exactly. It means fucking nothing. Throw it away, crumple it up. Bullshit.
And that's like killing Newt and Hicks before the movie starts.
Exactly. So the captain sees David interacting with. He goes to look for one of his other crew who just got eaten by a white alien, like one of the creepy ones. It looks like a gray alien, super tall, giant head. You can't see its mouth until it actually opens it, and it turns into like this fucking hole with teeth. He sees it interacting with this alien, like almost like Ripley from Resurrection, like, oh, you must earn its respect, and boom, fucking starts taking it out with his gun. Finds out that David is fucking crazy, and he doesn't care that the teammate that they were looking for is dead. The head's floating in a fucking puddle in that same room. Proceeds to follow him to an even darker, down lower basement area where there's alien eggs. And he's talking about creation. I created this. It's perfect. Yada, yada. Have a look. It's an alien egg. I don't know. Might be dangerous. Oh, it's fine. Even though I'm a fucking crazy robot. Sticks his face in it. And we get the alien xenomorph. Okay. But it doesn't pop out like you would see in the movie. The first movie, Alien, where, it's like a... and it scuttles away. It's almost like an alien has been shrunk using the transform tool on Photoshop or Illustrator.
And it's just like a little wormy thing?
No, it comes out as just a mini alien.
It's fucking stupid.
And David goes, oh, like a Jesus daddy thing. And the alien does that too. And you're like, what is happening to my fucking franchise? Okay.
It's like they did way too many drugs making this movie, and Ridley Scott was just like, genius.
Okay, so does it...
Gave it to 9-year-olds who didn't know what the hell they were writing.
So does it end connecting to the first Alien?
So, Walter...
he's going to milk it out for like 4 movies.
Yeah, exactly. Walter, the good robot, fights David. There's a cool back and forth there, and obviously, David makes it onto the ship at the end because they don't show you the demise of either one of them, and then one comes out and it's like, oh, I beat him up, or I killed him. Let's go, let's get out of here. You're like, oh, you're not fucking Walter. Yeah, and the alien comes running out after ejecting from the captain, comes running out to the spaceship that's now landing. Here's another thing. Good fucking God. I didn't even touch on this because it was so stupid. It blacked it out of my fucking memory. So, Tennessee, which is done by the...
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. He's a fucking idiot in this movie. Like, he would have been better as Danny...
He's not an idiot?
Well, see, not the same kind of idiot. This movie could have used his old idiot ways from those other movies, the same character that he always plays in every movie. It could have used it because it would have added a little bit of levity to this movie. This movie, he's downright Walmart retarded, right? His wife, he can't get a hold of his wife, and he's on top of he's in this the actual space above the planet, above the electrical storm with the 2,000 cryopods. He's in that ship, the big ship. And he's like, I can't get a hold of my wife on the phone. Let's drive that thing into the fucking clouds.
All 2,000 people.
All 2,000 people. And the other co-pilot's like, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you going to do that? And he's like, we got to do it. We got to do it. And you're like, oh my God, you're a fucking moron. He does this throughout the entire movie. He doesn't actually do it, which I'm not even going to give him fucking credit for that because it's so stupid to even come up with a tension builder like that. He's like, let's float for, like, computer, our mother, what's the closest range we can get to this electrical field? 40,000, but there might be some, problems. Let's drop it down to 40,000. Like, you fucking idiot. Why? What is it going to do for you? Nothing. Anyway, so he ends up getting into another ship, flies down to rescue them near the end. the xenomorph latches onto the ship, and they're having like a cool battle where you saw it in the trailer, like the ship's kind of flying around, smacking into shit, and the aliens crawling all around it. Then they have the chick that's been in the movie this whole time with the short hair. She's got no jaw, so she looks like an alien herself, but she's, Ripley Light, essentially. They even have a wife beater scene now near the end where it's the same fucking scene with the same outfit with her without a bra. You're like, come on, this is a bit of a retread. Somehow, she becomes the hero at this point, takes out the alien. Pretty cool. They did a good job with that. They get back to the big ship. All of a sudden, there's an alien loose. How'd that happen? Who knows? Let's not explain it, or how it took 5 minutes to happen. Sure. But then you see Michael Fassbender's character like...
You're like, I brought it aboard in my pants.
Pretty much. And they rehash Alien in the next 15 minutes, where they're going corridor to corridor, trying to get a alien.
I hate it when movies do that. You think it's over, but then there's like another 30 minutes. It's like, just this could have been cut. This was unnecessary. So that was like my biggest fear. I'll let you finish this in a second. This is my biggest fear from seeing the first few trailers. The first hour that you described sounds stupid and crazy and everything, but like I was afraid that it's just going to be a rehash of Alien, because we already got a rehash of Alien. It's called Alien 3. And to Alien 3's credit, they did different things. It was a different type of alien. It was different type of people, but the same concept. But this, again, another one single alien on the ship, people trying to get it. It's like you have to work real hard to just not do the same exact thing over again. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have not seen. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that have not seen the original Alien, and this might be their first Alien movie, and they think that's cool. But it's like, go watch fucking Alien, and see how it's done correctly.
Exactly. So this movie, 15 minutes, they cram an Alien movie into 15 minutes, where now they're going, corridor to corridor. They even have a stupid tropey fucking horror scene that you saw in the trailer where there's, naked people in the shower. They're gonna die. Tail comes up. The alien shoots its fucking double jaw out to the guy, and the mouth pops out of his mouth, and it's really gross. You're like, oh, this is so friggin' stupid. And they have a whole scene, let's blow it out the airlock, that whole thing. But David's watching on the cameras. They end up jettisoning it out the airlock as per usual, and they're gonna go into cryo sleep to go to the actual planet they were meant to. And the plot twist, it's David. And the ending shot is him going blah, and he's got a little
egg,
fucking embryo of a face hugger. He has about 3 of them, and he puts them in the embryos with the baby people embryos. And then he's walking through all 20,000 pods, going whistling or some shit.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Is that it? Is that the end? Is there no more movie?
That's the fucking end.
Okay, so it's
so unhappy about that.
So it still does not connect to Alien.
It doesn't address any fucking thing from the previous movie that we actually wanted to learn about, and completely illegitimizes the perfect being alien concept for the next goddamn movies in the franchise. You pieces of shit. You did everything you possibly could do wrong with this movie. It makes me so sad.
Well, I mean, I will say that
I am so upset.
The Alien vs. Predator definitely established that the xenomorph we're familiar with has been around for thousands of years, because now I don't know if this is discounting that because they were canon. They were canon.
AVP doesn't even make any sense anymore. The Predator movies don't make any sense anymore, because this essentially says that aliens were created, and I saw a fucking timeline at one point, and it was 21 something or other, okay? And then it went sequentially with the years of the Alien movies. So it makes sense within the Alien universe, but not AVP doesn't make any fucking sense now. it's just a whole bunch of shit doesn't make fucking sense now. Alien Predator 2 doesn't make sense now with the alien skull.
Well, I mean, originally that was just an Easter egg.
An Easter egg, but it's still.
But it spawned a franchise. It's
Exactly.
the Alien vs Predator comics, way before the game from the early '90s. I mean, that's where we got all of our lore and unofficial canon. But now it's just as Roy is probably over there internally giggling, it's what would be considered Star Wars legend tales. Our 90s alien comics no longer count. But yeah, I mean, it does fuck up the whole Alien vs Predator movies as well.
Yeah, it fucks up the whole continuity of AVP. It completely George Lucas's everything out. It showed you shit you shouldn't have seen and completely discounted the shit that you should have been focusing on.
So I mean, it just completely ignores the engineers after the point of it's like, oh, Michael killed them. Whatever, not Michael, whatever his name is. David killed them.
David killed them.
So like we don't find out why they created man and then why they wanted to destroy man. Just
nope.
Okay, we're just done with that.
This movie fucks up two franchises. It fucks up Prometheus, so like you said, you don't know why they created us and why they wanted to kill us, but then it also fucks up, okay, how the fuck did a shit ton of goddamn eggs get in the goddamn engineer ship on LV-142, whatever the fuck that goddamn planet is?
425, I think.
425. How did that happen? Did you forget that queens exist and they're the ones that make the fucking alien eggs? What do you mean you made these eggs? You need to fucking explain how you made these goddamn eggs, you piece of shit. And you didn't fucking.
The xenomorphs are supposed to be aliens.
The Prometheus thing had a ritualized worship statue of the fucking xenomorph in their ship from Prometheus. What the fuck?
Well, maybe he's just taking credit for it. Maybe he just found research there or something after he killed them, and he went mad, and now is just taking credit for creating the ultimate.
Well, this movie kind of points at he's the one that created it, because there's a whole bunch of like little failed, almost like Alien Resurrection, where there's the failed experiments kind of thing on his table in like autopsy form.
But who was he using it to test on? He only had one human.
I don't fucking know. They don't explain that.
I'm still curious on how an android swallow how does an android have like a working stomach cavity where they can swallow something and then
yeah, he's full of milk. We saw that in the first two Alien movies.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, the David Fassbender scenes are pretty brilliant. Like if it just focused on androids,
he's a great actor.
Well, if they just focused on him playing those two fucking characters and playing off of each other, that would have been a great psychodrama. It would have been amazing. But you throw in this xenomorph, I'm a god complex and trying to create the xenomorph when you didn't need to tie it into the xenomorph at all. It totally fucks up Alien completely. It makes me so upset.
Now the whole Alien franchise is based on, Ripley's fighting these aliens all because of one retarded robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It takes the complete mystery out of the xenomorph. Yeah. Absolutely. Like it should have remained a mystery. You don't need to know the origin of the fucking xenomorph. You just need to know that, maybe it's a ritual on this fucking planet with the engineers. They worship it, but it's been existing all throughout civilization as we know it. Like, what the fuck?
The screenplay for the third prequel film was written during production of Alien Covenant and finished in 2017. Production is scheduled to begin in 2018. This is according to Ridley Scott. If you really want a franchise, I can keep cranking it out for another 6. I'm not going to close it down. I'm not going to close it down again. No way. Okay. So is he like
looking to stretch it out? He's just making more filler, and rewriting his older shit just to make newer shit to wedge it in between those two franchises. That's bullshit.
I'm even confused at like the timetable now, because I thought Prometheus was like set 100 years before Alien, but now it's like, is it set like only like fucking 5 years before Alien, or what the hell is the deal here?
No, Prometheus is set way before Alien.
It's like still he didn't fuck that up.
I saw a YouTube video today. I'm not sure the actual thing, but you can check it out on YouTube. I maybe put a link if you find it in the description
I'll have to do
of
research.
this. But the Alien franchise itself makes sense within the continuity, but it fucks up everything else.
Well, I think he even said going into this that he never counted the Predator movies as part of his franchise.
Exactly. He George Lucasing the fucking shit. People like this has been in the hands of the fans almost as long as Star Wars. There is legitimate stories that need to be told within the lore, and whether you retcon it or not, like Lucas did or like Disney did with the expanded universe, at least it's in the hands of the fans, and they're trying to bring it back in a way that it all fits together and tells a complete continuity story, right? You wrangled in all these things to one timeline, but George Lucas fucked everything up to begin with, like Disney fucked it up to begin with, but this is in the hands of Ridley Scott, and he's George Lucas and the fuck out of it.
It's kind of ironic because Alien was inspired by Star Wars. Ridley Scott saw Star Wars and said, fuck, that's a great visuals and everything that they have going there. I want to make a movie like that. And so he went and made Alien.
Yeah, at this point, stop it, Ridley Scott. Do not, like, you're a beautiful director, but you cannot fucking tell an Alien movie anymore. You can't do it. The people who have had this franchise in their brains, lived with it, grown up with it, now should be telling the stories. Like Neil Blomkamp, he should be doing the movie. Even if he's not going to do his one with Ripley or whatever, he should at least direct the next one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the whole thing was like he had an idea. He had a vision for that was going to discount Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. So I mean, right there is already screwing with canon. But he had a specific idea for the continuation of those characters. I'm sure he would do a great job if you just threw him another Alien movie, but I want to see his vision. I want to see what his Alien 3 was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone got excited over it. They saw the illustrations and were like, oh, fuck, that would be amazing. Let's just fucking throw that away. Who gives a shit?
Talking about Blomkamps?
Yeah.
Like Ridley Scott, I think he's so egotistical, or he's so up his ass about this now that he threw it away, because this movie reeks of fucking just jerking off in your face. Fuck you. Like, okay, that's exactly
That's
what
aggressive.
he did.
See, now this is exactly why I'm not excited in the least bit for Blade Runner, the Blade Runner sequel. Blade Runner did not need a sequel. I did not want a sequel to Blade Runner. Nobody wanted a sequel to Blade Runner. And now everything that you just explained about this Alien movie, they're going... I'm worried. I'm super worried now because Blade Runner ends so ambiguously. Is he a replicant? Is he not a replicant? Who knows? He's going to go live his life as happily ever after for as long as he has. And that's what we all have. Whether we're actual humans or we're replicants. We only, live your life to the fullest because you don't know how long you have. Is essentially what Blade Runner's message boils down to. So now I'm just afraid that this sequel, it's going to just be like way too much explanation for something that nobody needed an answer to. We didn't need an answer to where the aliens came from. They established in Prometheus a better question. I never questioned where the aliens came from. When you watch Alien, you're like, whoa, where did this ship come from? What was that giant dead pilot? Why did they have all these eggs? And when the aliens running around the ship killing people, I'm not like, I wonder who made this thing. No, I'm more curious about the ship, the pilot, the cargo. Prometheus tries to explain that. The engineers created humanity. It's like, okay, that's cool, like the ancient astronaut theory. But then they got mad at us and they wanted to destroy us for some reason. So they, instead of bombing us into glass like a decent alien, they decided to make goo that just rips us apart from the inside and turns us into other aliens. Like, was that a weapon still in progress? Because clearly in that facility in Prometheus, if I got the impression that it was still a work in progress and it fucked up on them, and that's why they all died in there and everything like that. And maybe it was too dangerous of a weapon to ever use, and it was abandoned, and that's why they never went back to it. But why did they want to destroy us? again, all these whys, never once did I ask, where did the alien come from? Who made the alien?
That's just it. If Alien Covenant is any indication of the writing staff or people who have the ideas that are surrounding themselves around Ridley Scott, it is in big fucking trouble for Blade Runner because, like you said, they answered all the wrong fucking questions, questions we didn't even really need to know, and didn't focus on anything we actually wanted to see.
Yeah, you can tell that Ridley Scott is obsessed with the creation of the alien. Just reading the little quote from him there, he's like, oh, these are going to be prequels that are going to show where the alien came from. No,
Who gives a shit?
It's like the alien is cool. It's definitely an iconic science fiction monster, but it's not important where it came from, like how it came to be. Just the important thing is that it exists. It is, the ultimate creature, essentially.
When I was younger, I always thought, like you guys know, I'm not as deep into the lore as you guys by any means, but I always thought, and I don't know if this was implied or if this is what I just kind of thought myself, that I always put it as the aliens were actually made as a biological weapon by the engineers, or I knew them as space jockeys.
Yeah, that's what they were in the old comics. They're called this. I think on the set of the first movie, the engineer was nicknamed Space Jockey because they didn't have a name for it, and that's what they called them in the old comics. And yes, in the old comics, they were a biological weapon that
got out of hand.
Yeah, well, right? Essentially they used it on other planets, that on some other species they were at war with, and then like it accidentally got released on their home planet and annihilated themselves.
See, that works so much better. Like that, if you just said the engineers created them, and they were a biological weapon, and they're still around after all this time, and blah 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 blah. And they no matter what you do, is so prolific, they just kind of keep coming back. Maybe that was lost for a long time, and then this android, what was it, David? Found and somehow translated the ancient old engineer texts or whatever, like computer type information, and sort of brought back the wiped out alien, you know what I mean? And then so not only that explains that yes, he didn't create them, he brought them back, but why that would give him that god complex of I created this thing, but he didn't really. It was you tie it into the old canon, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I always like. That idea is way fucking better, that it was a biological weapon created by a, lack of a better word, a master race of aliens that used that, and then it got out of control. It explains and it connects those aliens, the master race of aliens, to like the hubris of humans and how we would inevitably fuck up like that. And it adds a lot more gravitas towards it.
Even if it explored the space jockeys going to a planet, finding a fucking queen, like as if they were looking at an ant colony and they decided to steal eggs and weaponize them, that would be a better fucking origin than David in a fucking robot iPod in a cave creating some goddamn fucking eggs. Like,
what if it was like the fortress of solitude for the engineers, and then they had like, how Superman has like one of each creature, and he had that like in their fortress of solitude, they had an alien and it got out, and that's how they went. I'd accept even that. That'd be better.
Yeah, there's so many. Right, in the last 5 minutes,
almost anything.
Yeah, in the last 5 minutes, we come up with like 5 better headcanon explanations for the.
And I don't even know all the movies. Like I just don't, God damn it, Ridley Scott.
It doesn't even. I don't even know. They chose every wrong direction. They had a board of directions they could have gone. They chose the fucking wrong one every time. Fucking fire this team. Fire them.
How many bucket of fucks?
I give this goddamn thing 2 bucket of fucks. 2. The only reason why is because it's pretty and it's in space. That's 2 things that I like.
I like that reasoning. Oh man,
But the problem is, it sucks so bad, but you have to see it because it's pivotal.
No, I don't. You just told me about it.
Because it's pivotal to the fucking origin of the alien. If you want to better understand the Alien franchise, you have to see it, even though you hate its fucking guts.
I don't know. Like, it sounds to me like you're saying, if I like my franchise canon, I just don't see this movie. It's still good.
I guess.
That was that sounded so defeated. It's so sad.
And the CGI alien completely takes all the horror out of anything. Like it moves clunky. It's not good at all. Fuck you.
Right. I could tell like it moved too. They showed too much just in the trailer of it.
Well, that scene where it's jumping from like wall to wall in the trailer. That's not in the movie.
Oh really?
How does it move? How does something that's CGI move clunkier than something that's in a suit?
Shitty CGI studio.
Well, I mean, again, he's breaking his own rules. The whole thing with Alien was that you barely see the fucking alien, and that's what makes it terrifying. I mean, as a kid, I mean, I looked away through half of that movie because it was so fucking scary. It wasn't until I was a little older and watched it without looking away so much that I even realized that the alien is fucking huge. And that's definitely something I didn't get the first several times when I was younger when I watched it. Is that like the alien is like fucking 9 feet tall? It's a giant fucking monster, but you don't even get that sense a lot of like through like I would say the first 3/4 of the first Alien movie because it's always in the shadows. It's always just barely being seen. It's not really till the end when it like gets down behind Ripley and then stands up that you're like, this thing's fucking huge.
Yeah, what they need to do is they need to give Ridley Scott a controller and pop in Alien Isolation and sit this guy down in the dark and have him play the video game and say, this is what you used to do. This is how you used to make us feel as kids when we watched the original Alien.
Right.
Do this.
Even aliens with an entire nest of fucking aliens, you didn't see like the entire body half the time. It was still obscured, and there'd be like 10 of them on the fucking screen.
Yeah, when you did, it was like a flashlight. You're like, oh shit! Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Alien 3, that was.
It was a lot of the motion sensor, like beep.
Yeah,
beep,
Alien
beep.
3, like that was like when we got like a first full body of it, like scurrying along the walls and shit. But it was quick, and so it didn't take away from it. And there was a lot of close-ups, like with the shower scene.
Yeah. And Alien Resurrection had a different kind of horror where it was more of like a sexualized alien horror. And you're like,
you never want to see
make
the,
me
like,
feel good.
saggy titties on your alien. Oh man!
But it was still like
just imagine Cuba, Granny, don't.
I think that's why I'm more forgiving of Alien Resurrection, because even though it was terrible, it still had that sense of like eerily creepy, even though what you're doing is stupid. Like I don't know. But this one's like they don't know where to go with it. Like, how do you make something scary? Oh, make it move super fast. It worked for 28 days later, like with zombies.
Yeah, but what's moving behind you? What's moving the curtain?
Cat.
Alien. You see a fucking alien head just.
I just have to expect from Signs the hand to just be like.
Oh, dude, can you imagine if my wife did that? Just popped up from behind the curtain wearing a fucking alien mask, like, and I just see it in my fucking little video feed here. I would shit this stool.
Bye, Cuba.
Completely unman all of us right now because I'd shriek too.
If you want some good alien suspense, fucking get Alien Isolation. That is by far the best alien, aside from Aliens. It is. I almost wish it was a movie or this movie. It was so good, so suspenseful, told a better story. Like
Alien vs. Predator 2, the video game. The one that you and I used to be up like all night, 4 nights out of the week playing. The storyline of that game was fucking great too. When you're playing as the Marine, in the very first 5 minutes when you're separated from your group and there's signs of like acid in a fight in whatever, and then the lights go off and you hear like a scurrying behind you and you shit yourself and you shoot the entire wall and it turns out it's just a space cockroach.
Dude, I'll go outside the actual franchise and I'll say that this guy could even play Dead Space 1, 2, or 3. Did you guys play Dead Space?
Yeah.
Dude, those games were fucking terrifying. If you're just sitting alone with just the headphones and at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're playing that fucking game, that game will make you piss his pants.
that's more The Thing in space, though.
Yeah, but it sounds like it was a lot better. but it sounds like it was a lot better than Covenant. So
yeah, absolutely. This fucking Covenant was bag of butts. Fucking hate
episode 32, bag of butts. Dude, we're going on 2 hours. I could be like this alien conversation is like an episode in itself.
Pretty much.
Do it.
Make this.
Do it. Cut it up.
I might have to. I don't know. I kind of want to go back to Guardians of the Galaxy episode. And be like, let's talk a little more about this because all it was just you fucking ejaculating all over that thing.
I also have Injustice. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's gonna have to wait till another day. All right, so don't see Alien Covenant or do at your own discretion. I don't know.
At your own discretion. Don't
go to the theater to see it. How about that?
The $2 theater maybe would you recommend? Because I want to see it.
Sure. I'll say $2.
Yeah, I'll see it. I'm not going to the theater to see it. I'll Netflix it or Amazon it.
I had two free movie passes, so I got me and Courtney in for free. So I'm glad I didn't fucking pay for this goddamn thing. So.
Yeah, I'll go to probably the one in East Providence, the $2 theater that comes out like 6 months after the movie's already been out. I'll go see it then.
So. Disappointing.
Disappointed.
All right, well, this has been Modern Retro. Hey, if you want to win a mystery box, how can you do that, Aaron?
You have to like, comment, subscribe on the iTunes, and email us the screen name that you used when you did it.
Yes, and that is how you get to enter your name into a contest to be randomly pulled to win the mystery box full of leftover geek swag. And we described
good shit.
We described it as the leftover box, but there's some good stuff in there. Definitely, it's definitely not garbage. And again, Roy is going to be.
It's definitely
not garbage.
That right there has to be. We have to write that on the box. Definitely not garbage.
We can do that. We can write that on the box.
Definitely not garbage box.
So I actually have some pretty cool stuff that I'll put in there that isn't a handwritten note that says send news.
There's pop vinyls. There's reaction figures, if you've seen those things. There is possibly, what else is there to give? Pins, patches.
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff. We just don't want it. But you will want it. So do that. Go over to iTunes. The link is on our website. You can go to the website itself, go to the blog, and there are detailed written directions and links to the iTunes, so you know exactly what to do. And at the end of June, we will announce a winner and give her away.
I will also say it's probably $50 or more in value.
That's way more than a Loot Crate.
Totally.
And check out the TeePublic. We got some new shirts on there. I put a new our logo as the Star Wars logo. I put that up last week for Star Wars 40th birthday on May 25th. Happy birthday to you, Star Wars. May you keep Star Warsing. Yeah, all purchases of swag, just they go and they help out this podcast. Mostly goes to the hosting fees, which aren't cheap, to keep all these episodes hosted and distributed properly. So check out the TeePublic, check out the YouTube, like Aaron had said, for new unboxings. Full episodes will be on the website, and I think that's it. Have a good night, everybody. Watch out for the aliens.
Bye-bye.
Don't let the bugs bite.
You fucked that up.
Fucking aliens.